is on the commercial side, so the investment side. We typically will have a what we call a narrative appraisal report. So on the residential side, you'd have the form reports. So for those of you who have seen those reports before on the residential side, they're typically 7 or 8 pages, and it's a check box type of form. But on the commercial side, we typically will do what we call a narrative appraisal report, typically anywhere from 30 to 50 pages, outlining the process that we see in here. These are all things that we have to include in the appraisal report. So for example, the intended use of the report, the purpose of the assignment, typically is for, on your side would be for mortgage purposes. The property rights appraised, the definition of value, the effective date of the appraisal. So basically the effective date is the date that we do the appraisal, unless it's for capital gains or any other issues where we need to do sometimes it could be a value, if it's a capital gain, it could be on disposition of the property, or it doesn't necessarily have to be the date of inspection, but we have to know what the effective date of the value is. The scope of work is that we outline what we've done to do our work, the assumptions and limiting conditions. Then we have to identify the property. We talk about the city, the area, and the neighborhood, describe the site, describe the building, the use of the building, assessment and taxes, sale history. So if the property has sold typically it's within the last 3 years, if it's been listed, sold, or those are agreements. The zoning of the property, so we'll look at the zoning, make sure that it conforms. Then after that, we look at the market itself, the highest and best use of the property. So the property, we have to determine if what's there on the site, if that's the highest and best use, or if that's the best use for that property. It is possible to have a building on a site that it's not the highest and best use. If you have, for example, a commercial site with a residential property, it's possible that there's more value on the land. That can happen. So basically that what's sitting on the site may not necessarily be the highest and best use. However, that being said, 95% or 99% of the time, the property is developed at its highest and best use. We'll typically see this happening in areas where there's a fast commercial growth. There's a couple of instances, if you look where the Marriott Hotel is, there was an old Irving station there. If we would have done the appraisal on that property when the Irving station was there, we would have determined that that wasn't the highest and best use of the property. So obviously it was torn down and they sold the site. And
part-time shredders are just
cost approach, income approach, direct comparison approach, then we reconcile the final estimate of value. And then normally in the addenda you'll have the maps, the floor plans, and zonings, photographs. So that's typically what an appraisal report will look like. And there, the definition of market value. The buyer and seller are typically motivated. So if we see a property that sells when the buyer and seller are not motivated, that could create a value or sale price that's not at market value. So that if we look at comparable sales, that has to be looked at. Both parties are well informed. That means that it's not somebody that's coming in from the outside and buys the first property he sees. Sometimes we'll see sale prices like that you see all the houses selling at a certain rate, and then all of a sudden there's one that sticks out. It's possible that person wasn't informed of what the market was, and it had exposure time on the market. So that means reasonable means for that type of property. Like some properties may take a year to sell. Some properties may take a month to 2 months. So what's reasonable for that property, you have to expect that you have to put it on the market. If you you have to put your property for sale and say, well, I have to sell it in 3 weeks, you may not get